Hello all you beautiful people out there, what is going on? This is your friend Birdie coming at you fast with another Paragon Beast Builds video, and today we are gonna be looking at Khaimera the fucking Savage. Okay, I didn't come up with a mnemonic with this. I was thinking something like the Kooky Cobbler, but it didn't make any goddamn sense. I mean, look at this guy, dude. This is a man. This is a man wearing like Rux's fucking face on his face, and he's wearing some like bones from a different creature. Maybe those are Grux's bones, actually. I don't know. Some sort of different creature on his mouth. Like he does not give two skadoodles about anything, man. Like, he is insane. Let's take a look at his mask. Oh my, oh yeah, it's so good, man. I want to see what his taunt looks like, though. It's pretty insane. I hope so. Cause dude, look at him. He's restless, dude. He's ready to kick some ass, and boy, are we gonna kick some ass with this deck here today, guys. I have gone to the depths of the earth to try out new builds, new decks, all that stuff. And if you're looking at the level right here, oh my god, you're only level 2 with him. Fucking kill yourself. I've had a couple of losses with him, but you know what? That actually made me build an even better deck, because when I came back to win, I came back like a crazy beast. And to be honest, Khaimera is really well balanced, maybe even too underbalanced, to be honest, some people might think. So it is kind of hard to win games with him just because of his character model and his character build, but we'll go over that in the guide. Right now, let's just go over his deck. So let's go over here to the decks. Let's go to Khaimera number 1. I know I haven't thought of a creative name for it yet, but this is probably the most convoluted deck I have ever come up with, guys. So get ready. Grab your calculators, pause the video right now, grab your calculator, turn it on, grab that like button, turn it on, and let's fucking do this, shiznauts. So, you're going to start off with the Warlord Prime card. You are going to deal damage. The thing with Khaimera is you're going to build him half damage, half tanky, as you guys are going to see real quick. But that's because his damage scaling doesn't scale as quick as Kalari's, Grux's, or Fang's, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Okay, so he's not really too big on that burst damage, and plus, he doesn't have too many abilities that help him with that burst damage. You know, Grux has his pull, his R1 or his right-click swipe that causes bleeding, and his ult just increases his attack speed and damage on his autos. Whereas with Khaimera, the only burst he really has is, okay, the little bit of damage he has from his leap, whatever, that doesn't really do much. His ultimate, okay, which also doesn't do much, relatively speaking, compared to other ultis, and all it does really is root him for a second, and they can still get away from you, which is kind of dumb. Like, you stop to use your ulti, and they can back up while you're using it, so you're still out of reach. The whole point of that ulti is to get into range, which I hope they fix that soon, but I digress. And then his Q, or his square, that speeds up his attack speed at the cost of attack damage. So it's really not that, you know, he doesn't have too much. You would think he does a ridiculous amount of damage, but he really doesn't. Plus, with his regeneration passive, we do want to build him tanky. So with that intro out of the way, let's go ahead and look into the starting items. So usually I start him with the health pot and either 2 strike tokens right off the bat, or 1 strike token and a harvester key. Okay, this depends. If you guys have somebody else grabbing double keys already, then they can be in charge of that. The reason I like going double strike tokens off the start is because it just helps them with the jungle. You could probably start off with Beastmaster's key, okay, and see how well that works for you, because you don't really need too much regeneration when it comes to potions, except for the first couple of levels. Or unless you want to stay really long in a lane, because his passive does the regeneration for him, which if you're only jungling, you can ditch your health pot pretty early on. But I do like keeping it around because it does help me do some crazy stuff like solo or prime at like level 8 or 9 because of his passive, which is pretty insane. As long as nobody interrupts me, it's pretty lit. So, you know, stuff like that. Definitely, I like having that health pot around, and the strike tokens are really good for starters too. So either 2 strike tokens, or if your team needs it, 1 strike token and a harvester key. Okay, now the next item that I like to build into is Rustbreaker. Okay, now this is a very interesting slot. Okay, you start off with Rustbreaker because it gives you a good amount of damage right out the bat. It gives you even more damage when you fully upgrade it, and you are going to upgrade this bad boy with 2 minor strikes and 1 regular strike. That is right. You're going to do 2 minor strikes and 1 regular strike. Okay? You could also do 3 minor strikes if you have it, but I do not, so I'm just going with the next best thing, which is just a strike. And that's how we're going to build this deck. This deck is going to use all 60 of its card points, even though it might seem kind of crazy. That's why I said grab a calculator. And this might be a longer video because it's just so convoluted. But if you want to skip it, I will drop the cards and the upgrades for them in the description in the order you want to do it. The extended list, okay? So, anyway, Rustbreaker with 2 minor strikes and 1 regular strike. That's just to help you get your feet off the ground. That's to help you clear minions faster in the jungle, help you clear waves faster, and just put up a little bit of a fight early on in the game. You know, like I said, the smaller the upgrades you use, the quicker you'll get that bonus. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. The bonus becomes less than what it could be if you did majors only, which is better late game, which is what we're going to work on later on in this build. Okay, but for now, we're just going to do 2 minors and 1 regular strike. The next card that you're going to get is either going to be Spiked Boneplate or Thorned Greenweave. Okay, these are order cards. These are really good order cards. They give you both armor and physical damage, and when you fully upgrade them, you get more physical damage, which is really good. You want to be getting these physical damage through these passives, so you can also focus on armor at the same time. So you're going to build each of these in a very particular way. So you're going to build each of them with a strike into each. So pay attention to how many strikes we have right now. So we already used 1 strike in the Rustbreaker. Okay, this leaves us with 4 strikes. We're going to use 1 in each of Thorned Greenweave and Spiked Boneplate, so that's going to leave us with 3 now. So you have 1 strike in Spiked Boneplate, and you're going to go 1 greater guard and 1 minor guard. Okay, we're using minors a lot in this deck, so we're going 1 greater guard and 1 minor guard. That's going to be a total of 6 points of upgrades, and then 3 points for the card itself, so that's a total of 9-point card. So you're going to do that for both Spiked Boneplate for the guards and Thorned Greenweave for the barrier. So same thing, you're going to go minor barrier, you're going to go greater barrier, and you're going to go strike, okay? Now your 4th item is going to be Brawler's Ward, and you probably want to have your ward earlier in the game, but you're going to be running around in the jungle a lot and ganking a lot of people, which is actually good for junglers to have wards. But you do want to prioritize your defense first. It's really important, especially in team fights, way more important than a ward. You do want to pick up your ward relatively quick, and you will. You know, you'll pick up your ward by around 30 CP, 33 CP, because you're using 1 2-point cards for most of these card upgrades. So you'll get your wards quick enough, trust me. So you get your wards, you put in 3 strikes, okay? You put the remaining of your strikes into that, okay? All 3 of them into your Brawler's Ward. Okay, now you have more damage and you have a ward. And you have a little bit of mana. You can also use Guardian's Ward to get more health. I'd probably recommend that one actually instead, but I don't have it. I just have Brawler's Ward, so that's what I use, okay? Now, your 5th card is going to be Swiftcreek Heart, because you want to have health, okay? You want to have your armor and you want to have your health, and this is a great card because it gives you 300 health when you fully upgrade it. It gives you some attack speed in the passive and some health in the passive, which is really, really nice. So you definitely want to upgrade this, and the way you're going to upgrade this is going to be with 1 regular health, okay, to counterbalance the fact that it's a 4-point card. You need to use a 2-point card to make that 6, and then you're going to go 2 greater healths after that for a total of 12 points. Including the card itself, Swiftcreek Heart. So now you are good to go you are on the road for a flawless 60-point deck right now, okay? So this is only 5 cards though, so where is the 6th card? That's right, you guessed it, it's going to be another one. Another Thorned Greenweave or another Spiked Boneplate, depending on which you want to prioritize. Like if they have 2 physical ADCs and 1 energy ADC, then go Spiked Boneplate first, because ADCs definitely get stronger late game, more so than early game. Like fighters are better early game. So yeah, so let's just go with Spiked Boneplate. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna upgrade this with, okay, you're gonna upgrade this with 2 major strikes. Excuse me. You're gonna go with 2 major strikes and 1 greater guard into Spiked Boneplate, because remember, we still have our other Spiked Boneplate, which already has a greater guard in there. It already has a minor guard in there, so you can go another one and go another greater guard, so you get even more resistance, and now you get even way more damage for those late game situations, okay? And same thing, now you're capped at 6 points though, okay? What you're gonna do, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that you are gonna throw away these at some point. I mean, that's around 30-ish card points. You can do that whenever you'd like. but you are going to need to throw those away, obviously, to have space. That just goes without saying, but some people get confused, like, when should I discard my pots and stuff? Just whenever you feel comfortable, whenever you feel like you don't need them anymore, whenever you feel like they don't help you stay alive anymore, or they're just not useful anymore. There does come a point in time in the game, and you will realize that. Now that you have 6 cards, what do you do? Well, now you start replacing cards like the diamond players do it, boy. I'm not a diamond player, but I've looked at a lot of diamond people, okay, and I see what they do, and they taught me their ways, and I come to you with as the messenger with this sexy-ass build. So, now what you're going to do is you're going to replace that really weak-ass Rustbreaker you had in the beginning, okay, your lousy, wimpy 7-point Rustbreaker with your 2 minors and 1 regular strike in there. You're going to ditch that. You're going to get your 7 points back from that. And now you're going to go the other one that you didn't use. So if we started with Spiked Boneplate, we're now going to use a second Thorned Greenweave. And again, we're going to go 1 greater barrier, 2 major strikes. Okay, now the order of upgrade doesn't really matter. I mean, it just depends if you feel like you want to be tankier before you're more damagey, or you want to be more damagey before you're tankier. It doesn't matter, okay? I'm just saying what cards you need to upgrade into your card. The order of the individual card upgrades don't particularly matter too much. It's just the order of the cards themselves do. Okay? And so now that you've replaced your wimpy old Rustbreaker with a Thorned Greenweave that has 2 major strikes in it, which is already more damage than your Rustbreaker had, now you even have more resistance as well with another greater barrier. So, lot to take in, guys. This is a longer video because there's a lot to take in, so we're going to go through it again real quick, like, okay? Start off with a health pot, 2 strike tokens. Okay, we're just going to go with 2 strike tokens. Then you want to get your Rustbreaker. You want to go with 2 minor strikes, and you're going to want to go with 1 strike. Okay, we actually don't even need kinetic. All right, we'll figure that out later. I was messing around with a lot of stuff. Okay, next thing you want to go is your Spiked Boneplate. Let's say, for example, you want to go with 1 minor guard, 1 greater guard, and 1 strike. And then same thing, Thorned Greenweave, 1 minor barrier, 1 greater barrier, 1 strike. Boom. 4th card, your Brawler's Ward. You're going to go with 3 strikes. Right here, 3 strikes, okay? Then you're going to go with Swiftcreek Heart, and you're going to go with 1 health, and you're going to go with 2 greater health, alright? And then you're going to go with another Spiked Boneplate or Thorned Greenweave, let's just say Spiked Boneplate, okay? And you're going to go with 2 major strikes and 1 greater guard. And then you're going to replace your Rustbreaker. You're going to discard it, get your points back, and replace that with the Thorned Greenweave now, since you started with the Boneplate in this case. And you're going to go with 1 greater barrier and 2 major strikes. And that is going to max out your build at 60 card points flat. And it's going to make your Khaimera a tanky, badass duelist brawler motherfucker. So there you guys have it. That is the Khaimera deck. It is my most innovative, my most amazing deck. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make this into some sort of Intel or Microsoft commercial, but fucking, you know what I mean. Alright, this is my most convoluted deck. If you guys have been throughout my deck builds, my guides, hopefully you guys enjoy. If it does work for you, drop a like, comment. You know, like I'm still getting comments on my Iggy deck, because a lot of people are still looking up Iggy decks, and they're like, oh my god, you're a genius for building tanky on Iggy. This is so amazing. And I really love it when you guys appreciate my builds. I am really honored, and I'm glad that they help you. So I like to know if these cards and this deck will help you with Khaimera specifically, down in the comment section below. If you stick around to this part of the video, please comment. Khaimera is crazy. Alright, just Khaimera is crazy, or Khaimera is a crazy mofo, or whatever, something along those lines, and I will know you got to this point in the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. Thank you so much, and as always, make sure you all have a wonderful day.